Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of Major General L. Scott Rice, the Adjutant General of Massachusetts, welcome to today's event where we will observe a ceremony rich in history and military tradition. This morning we will observe 30 units from the Massachusetts Army and Air National Guard receive their battle streamers in recognition to their dedication and sacrifice in support of Operations Enduring and Iraqi Freedom. I'm Major Mark Kalin. I'll be your narrator for this morning's ceremony. We'll begin today's program with a ceremonial salute to Governor Deval L. Patrick and the Adjutant General, Major General L. Scott Rice. Captain Michael Mondello, Commander of Delta Company, 1st Battalion, 181st Infantry Regiment, is massed in formation in front of commanders, command sergeants major, first sergeants, soldiers, and airmen from units across this Commonwealth who will be receiving recognition this morning for their unit service. You can see that if I direct your attention to the side viewing. I'd like to take this opportunity to welcome the number of honored and distinguished guests here today. The United States Representative from the 6th District, Congressman John F. Tierney. Representing United States Congressman Joseph Kennedy, Mr. Nick Clemens. Representing United States Congressman James McGovern, Ms. Kathleen Polanowitz. The Speaker of the Commonwealth's House of Representatives, Mr. Robert DeLeo. The Secretary of the Executive Office of Public Safety and Security, Ms. Andrea Cabral. The Secretary of Veteran Services, Mr. Coleman Nee. The Co-Chair of the Joint Committee on Veterans and Federal Affairs, State Representative Carlo Basile. The Co-Chair of the Joint Committee on Public Safety and Security, Representative Harold Naughton. The Undersecretary of Homeland Security and Director of the Massachusetts Emergency Management Agency, Mr. Kurt Schwartz. The Secretary, Executive Office of Health and Human Services, Mr. John Polanowitz. The State Auditor, Commonwealth of Massachusetts, Ms. Suzanne Bump. The State Treasurer, Commonwealth of Massachusetts, Mr. Steve Grossman. The Executive Director, Massachusetts Military Task Force, Mr. Adam Freudberg. Our special guest and news anchor from the Channel 5 News team, Ms. Susan Warnick. I'd also like to welcome the many state senators, state representatives, government officials, military and veterans organizations that have taken the time out of their very busy schedules to attend today's program. We thank you for attending. I'd also like to welcome the distinguished military leadership in attendance today. The Vice Chief, National Guard Bureau, Lieutenant General Joseph Lengel. The Commander, Massachusetts Air National Guard, Brigadier General Gary Keefe. The Assistant Adjutant General, Commonwealth of Massachusetts Military Division, Brigadier General Thomas Sellers, United States Army retired. The Director, Department of Veterans Affairs, Boston Regional Office, and a member of the Senior Executive Service, Mr. Bradley Mays. The State Command Chief Warrant Officer, Chief Joseph Quinn. The State Command Sergeant Major, Massachusetts Army National Guard, Command Sergeant Major David Costa. The State Command Chief Master Sergeant, Massachusetts Air National Guard, Chief Master Sergeant Richard McDonald. I'd also like to thank all of the additional commanders, Command Sergeants Major, and Chief Master Sergeants for taking the time to attend this morning's ceremony. Thank you for all attending this historic event. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the arrival of the official party and remain standing for the playing of Ruffles and Flourishes and the 32nd bar of the Stars and Stripes Forever, Governor Patrick's musical honors. Governor Patrick will also receive a 19-gun howitzer salute from the Boston Common, his ceremonial honors. Honor Guard, post the colors. At this time, the Voices of Freedom from the 215th Army Band, Massachusetts Army National Guard, will now perform the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
At this time, I'd like to introduce Chaplain Lieutenant Colonel Promotable Baser, who will now deliver the invocation. Sir?
Let us pray. Our God, our rock, and our guardian, we ask your choicest blessings this day as we present and dedicate battle streamers to the Massachusetts Army and Air National Guard units in recognition of their support and service during Operations Enduring Freedom and Iraqi Freedom. May these battle streamers that join with others that represent over 350 years of brave Massachusetts military service always inspire us to strive to give our very best for honor, liberty, justice, as they continue to valiantly stand guard against terror abroad and serve our nation and Commonwealth at home, anytime, anywhere, and to protect them always. May our Commonwealth of Massachusetts, along with all the citizens of our great nation, be forever blessed with your divine light, hope, spirit, and strength. And let us all say, Amen.
Thank you, Chaplain Baser. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. At this time, I'd like to ask Ms. Susan Warnick, news anchor, Channel 5 News Team, to come to the podium to give us a brief historical background of the significance of the ceremony you will witness this morning. Ms. Warnick?
Thank you so much. Good morning. Good morning, Governor. Our other distinguished guests. This is awesome. I have to say, I am just so honored to be a part of this for so many reasons. I have been a reporter in this great state of Massachusetts for nearly 40 years, and I've had an opportunity to see the great men and women of the National Guard in ways that you might not imagine. We talk about wartime, and we talk about overseas. I'm telling you that I have seen these courageous men and women in storms, in natural disasters, go into communities and give hope and love where there's only devastation, where people are generally afraid and forlorn. I have seen these men and women help neighbors come together to rebuild their homes. I have watched them on their hands and their knees, helping children dig through debris to find their toys and their pets. I salute you, and I thank you for all that you have done for so many, not just in Massachusetts, but around the world. And as I mentioned, I'm honored to be here this morning to explain exactly what this ceremony is about. I'm going to read it because if I didn't, we'd be here until midnight. The Massachusetts National Guard was founded as the Massachusetts Bay Colonial Militia on December 13, 1636, and contains the oldest units in the United States Army. The first muster was held on Salem Common, where for the first time a regiment of militia drilled for the common defense of a multi-community area, thus laying the foundation for what became the Army National Guard. The General Court of the Massachusetts Bay Colony in 1637 ordered the organization of the colony's militia companies into the North, South, and East regiments. The colonists adopted the English militia system, which obligated all males between the ages of 16 and 60 to possess arms and to participate in the defense of the community. On August 9th of 2010, Governor Deval Patrick signed House Bill 1145, an act designating the city of Salem as the birthplace of the National Guard. This was later approved by the U.S. House of Representatives in March of 2012 and was signed into law by President Barack Obama on the 10th of January, 2013. Today, the 101st Engineer Battalion, the 101st Field Artillery Regiment, the 181st Infantry Regiment, and the 182nd Infantry Regiment of the Massachusetts National Guard continue their historic mission of continuous service since 1636, both national and state defense. These unit colors are hanging in Memorial Hall right here and right now. The tradition of parading the unit colors of the Massachusetts National Guard through the front door of the State House actually began in 1865. Governor John Andrew, the great wartime Civil War governor, accepted on behalf of the Commonwealth each of the 70 regimental colors carried through many bloody battles of the war. Many of the colors were in tatters or badly worn, and not in the condition that Governor Andrew presented to the regiments in 1861. The scene is captured right here in the mural. Awesome. The Civil War colors were displayed in honor of the Massachusetts soldiers who gave their lives in the war. After World War I, World War II, and Vietnam, the battalion and regimental colors of Massachusetts National Guard units returning from those wars were retired with honor and displayed in the Hall of Flags. In November of 2008, a similar ceremony was conducted, but slightly different. Governor Deval Patrick, the Commander-in-Chief of the Massachusetts National Guard, awarded campaign and decoration streamers to units returning from service in Iraq and Afghanistan. Campaign streamers are heraldic symbols of actions, battles, and operations in which the Massachusetts National Guard units participated. These streamers were often earned by the blood of our soldiers and airmen. They are honored symbols of service and sacrifice. Several units today will be recognized for their collective service and devotion to duty with the award of the Meritorious Unit Commendation Streamer. The streamers that Governor Patrick awards this morning now become part of unit history, just as the streamers that 4 regimental colors present here carry streamers for service at Lexington, Concord, Bunker Hill, Gettysburg, Meuse-Argonne, the Battle of the Bulge, and for earlier campaigns in Iraq and Afghanistan.
Thank you, Ms. Warnick. It is now my distinct pleasure to introduce the Governor of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, Governor Deval L. Patrick. Sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Major, to Lieutenant General Lengyel. Welcome. Delighted to have you here, to General Rice and all of the members of the command staff of the Massachusetts National Guard, to Congressman Tierney, to my fellow constitutional officers who are present today, to Secretary Cabral, Secretary Nee, Secretary Polanowitz, members of the administration, to the Speaker, and the members of the legislature who have joined us today, all the members of the military, those who serve and their families, welcome to the State House today. This is your house, and I'm honored to be with you to give honor to you for the service and the sacrifice that you represent and that you have given to this Commonwealth and to this country. I welcome you home. I know how meaningful it is that you are here, and we want you to know how much we appreciate you. A few years ago, I had the privilege of spending a little time in the field with our servicemen and servicewomen in Iraq, Kuwait, and Afghanistan. And while I was there, I had the extraordinary pleasure of meeting a young man by the name of Andrew Wilkinson. Because of the timing of his particular deployment, he had never met his then 5-month-old daughter. He showed me pictures of this gorgeous little girl with all the pride that a new father would have, and I was struck by yet another dimension of a serviceman or woman's service and sacrifice. It wasn't too long after that that I had an opportunity to meet Andrew's daughter back here in the State House. In fact, I met her before he had a chance to meet her, and it was incredibly meaningful for me to be able to take a picture with her and then email that to Andrew, sort of rounding that circle. We recognize that stories like Andrew's are not uncommon, and we understand the burden that each member of our armed services undertakes on behalf of all of us, whether it's sacrificing the comfort of being at home or the being present at a milestone like the birth of a child, to the more profound sacrifices of placing oneself in harm's way for the rest of us. We appreciate you and what you give and what you represent. And in today's small way, we have an opportunity to recognize that service and that sacrifice and to say to you personally how proud you make us and how grateful we are to you. Because of our work here, together with members of the legislature and our administration and many of you in the military, Massachusetts leads the nation in providing veterans services. We spend more per capita on veteran services than any other state. We have supported economically disadvantaged veterans. We have supplied tuition waivers at state colleges and universities. We've expanded our Women Veterans Network, and we are committed to providing jobs and opportunity for those returning home. We will keep up that work. It humbles me beyond measure to be in your presence, and I am grateful to have the opportunity to tell you how grateful I am in person. Welcome everyone to the State House. We welcome you warmly. Thank you.
Thank you, Governor Patrick. I'd now like to give the podium to United States Representative John F. Tierney for the opportunity to say a few words. Sir.
Thank you, Major. Thank all of you. Thank you, Governor, General, all the distinguished guests that I won't list as ably as the Governor did, but know that we're all appreciative that everybody is here and joining us. And I appreciate the opportunity to be with you this morning to acknowledge the wartime service of all the units that are returning home. I'm honored to join everybody here and agree that we should share the two most important words that your families certainly and friends want to hear, and that's welcome home. With job well done. The birthplace of the National Guard, of course, is in Salem, my hometown and part of my district, and we're very proud of that. General Rice has been to Salem to acknowledge that, and we're appreciative on that. But three of the units being recognized today the 181st Infantry, the 182nd Infantry, and the 101st Engineer Battalion can all trace their origins back to the first muster in 1637 on the Commons, and oftentimes the general comes down annually to celebrate that as well. So it's a particular honor to be here, welcoming and thanking all the members of the service and their families for their sacrifice and their service. Three of the units that are here actually continue to be from our district on that. The 972nd MP Command, based in the Camp Curtis Guild in Reading, was deployed several times in the past decade to Qatar, Iraq, and Pakistan, and Uzbekistan, and performed critical force protection and security missions. The 26th Yankee Brigade, also out of Reading, was deployed to Kabul, Afghanistan, where it provided important command, control, and security support for the Kabul-based cluster. And the 182nd Engineering Company from Newburyport had the incredibly tough assignment of clearing IEDs planted along roadsides in Kandahar province. These sappers cleared almost 22,000 miles of roadway and encountered 96 IEDs during their time in Afghanistan. So you can see that we're quite proud in the 6th District and in Salem for our association with the National Guard and all of the great service that they provide to this Commonwealth and to the country, added to all the great service they provide whenever there's a disaster or an emergency in this country and in the state. Citizens of Massachusetts and the United States owe a continuing commitment to all of the members who returned, able and disabled. The governor listed all the great things that the Commonwealth and the legislature have done for service members here. On a national scale, we have created the community-based outreach clinics, continue our hospital services, provide health care services, modernize the GI Bill, make sure that we're working on the housing issues and job training, and continue to do that. We will, I'm sure, at both the state and federal level, continue that commitment and pledge to do that. And finally, I just want to briefly note that over 6,600 of our soldiers have been tragically killed in Operation Iraqi Freedom and Operation Enduring Freedom. We're all mindful that as we gather here today, that far too many of our fellow citizens are still grieving the loss of their family members or their loved ones, and we keep them and all those who fallen in our memory and in our prayers. Thank you for letting me join you here this morning.
Thank you, Congressman Tierney. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, units from the Massachusetts Army and Air National Guard will be awarded their campaign battle streamers in recognition of their service during Operations Enduring and Iraqi Freedom. Governor Patrick, Major General Rice, will you please take your positions in the center of the room to award the battle streamers? The first two units to receive their campaign streamers have deployments in support of both Operations Iraqi and Enduring Freedom, and will receive both of their campaign battle streamers at this time. The 972nd Military Police Company deployed in 2007 in support of Operation Iraqi Freedom and returned in 2008. They also deployed in 2011 in support of Operation Enduring Freedom and returned in 2012. They are receiving the Global War on Terrorism campaign streamer for duties during Operation Iraqi Freedom and the Consolidation 2 streamer for duties during Operation Enduring Freedom. The 182nd Engineer Company, Sapper, deployed in 2007 in support of Operation Iraqi Freedom and returned in 2008. They also deployed in 2011 in support of Operation Enduring Freedom and returned in 2012. They're receiving the Transition 1 campaign streamer for duties during OIF and the Consolidation 2 streamer for duties during OEF. The 267th Combat Communications Squadron deployed and returned in 2008 in support of Operation Iraqi Freedom. The 267th is receiving the Global War on Terrorism streamer. The 104th Security Forces Squadron deployed in 2008 in support of Operation Iraqi Freedom and returned in 2009. They also deployed in support of Operation Enduring Freedom from 2010 to 2011. They're receiving the Iraq campaign streamer and the Afghan campaign streamer for duties during Operation Enduring Freedom, Afghanistan. The 772 Military Police Company deployed in 2008 and returned in 2009 supporting Operation Iraqi Freedom. The unit is receiving the Iraqi Sovereignty Campaign Streamer. The 101st Finance Detachment deployed from 2009 to 2010 in support of Operation Iraqi Freedom. They will be receiving the Iraqi Sovereignty Campaign Streamer, but due to their deployment to Southwest Asia in support of Operation Enduring Freedom, the 101st Finance Detachment and their colors are unable to be here today. They'll be awarded their campaign streamers upon redeployment. The Headquarters 101st Engineer Battalion deployed in support of Operation Iraqi Freedom from 2009 to 2010. They are receiving the Iraqi Sovereignty Campaign Streamer. The Headquarters 211th Military Police Battalion deployed in support of Operation Iraqi Freedom from 2009 to 2010. They are receiving the Global War on Terrorism Campaign Streamer. The 747 Military Police Company deployed in support of Operation Iraqi Freedom from 2009 to 2010 and are receiving the Iraqi Sovereignty Campaign Streamer. The 102nd Security Forces Squadron deployed in support of Operation Iraqi Freedom in 2009 and is receiving the Iraqi Campaign Streamer. The Headquarters 164th Transportation Battalion deployed from 2010 to 2011 in support of Operation Iraqi Freedom and are receiving the Global War on Terrorism Campaign Streamer. The 1166th Transportation Company deployed in support of Operation Iraqi Freedom from 2010 to 2011 and are receiving the Operation New Dawn Campaign Streamer. The Headquarters 1st Battalion 101st Field Artillery Regiment deployed in support of Operation Enduring Freedom from 2010 to 2011 and are receiving the Consolidation 3 Campaign Streamer. The 379th Engineer Company deployed in support of Operation Enduring Freedom from 2010 to 2011. They are receiving the Consolidation 3 Campaign Streamer. The 3rd Battalion 126th Aviation Regiment, General Support, deployed in support of Operation Iraqi Freedom from 2010 to 2011. They are receiving the Global War on Terrorism Campaign Streamer. Headquarters, 1st Battalion, 181st Infantry Regiment, deployed in support of Operation Enduring Freedom from 2010 to 2011. They are receiving the Consolidation 3 campaign streamer. The 102nd Civil Engineering Squadron deployed in support of Operation Enduring Freedom from 2010 to 2011. They are receiving the Afghanistan campaign streamer. Charlie Company, 1st Battalion, 20th Special Forces Group, Airborne, deployed in support of Operation New Dawn from 2010 to 2012, and they're receiving the Operation New Dawn campaign streamer. Headquarters, 26th Maneuver Enhancement Yankee Brigade, deployed in support of Operation Enduring Freedom from 2011 to 2012 and are receiving the Consolidation 3 and Transition 1 campaign streamers. The 26th Signal Company deployed in support of Operation Enduring Freedom from 2011 to 2012 and are also receiving the Consolidation 3 and Transition 1 campaign streamers. Headquarters, 1st Battalion, 182nd Infantry Regiment, deployed from 2011 to 2012 in support of Operation Enduring Freedom and are receiving the Consolidation 3 and Transition 1 campaign streamers. The 104th Fighter Wing, 131st Fighter Squadron, deployed from 2011 to 2012 in support of Operation Enduring Freedom and are receiving the Global War on Terrorism campaign streamer. The 567th Air Force Band, deployed and returned in 2011 in support of Operation Enduring Freedom and are receiving the Global War on Terrorism campaign streamer. The 102nd Intelligence Support Squadron supported Operations Enduring Freedom and Iraqi Freedom from 2009 to present and are receiving the Global War on Terrorism non-expeditionary campaign streamer. The 101st Intelligence Squadron supported Operations Enduring Freedom and Iraqi Freedom from 2009 to present and are receiving the Global War on Terrorism non-expeditionary campaign streamer. The The 102nd Operations Support Squadron supported both Operations Enduring and Iraqi Freedom from 2009 to present and are receiving the Global War on Terrorism Non-Expeditionary Campaign Streamer. The 212th Engineering Installation Squadron deployed and returned in 2011 in support of Operation Enduring Freedom and are receiving the Global War on Terrorism Campaign Streamer. The 181st Engineer Company deployed from 2012 to 2013 in support of Operation Enduring Freedom and are receiving the Transition 1 Campaign Streamer. The 253rd Combat Communications Group deployed and returned in 2012 in support of Operation Enduring Freedom and are receiving the Global War on Terrorism Campaign Streamer. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for all of our honored units here today. Thank you, Governor Patrick. It's my pleasure to introduce the Adjutant General of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, Major General L. Scott Rice.
To my Commander-in-Chief, Governor Patrick, thank you for showing us honors to duty, honor, justice, and freedom, as the chaplain so eloquently spoke about, that we've done not once, not twice. Boy, we've done this hundreds of times. In fact, these walls, this room, is draped with the history of our country. Not just Boston, not just the Commonwealth. This is our country. And what a great honor for me to be here today, to be part of something that shows the legacy of duty, honor, country, justice, and freedom. It takes many people to be a part of this, and I want to thank you all the distinguished guests. And as I look around the room, there's not a face in here that's not very, very important to me. We have people like Lieutenant General Joe Langell, who's from Massachusetts, who is now the second highest guardsman in our country as the Vice Chief of the National Guard Bureau, representing not only General Grass, the National Guard, but all of us in uniform and the honorable service. Thank you, sir, for taking the time to. You saw standing next to me is the senior ranking enlisted soldier in our midst, and my right-hand man, Command Sergeant Major David Costa, who stands there next to me when I start to get a little nervous when that flag spear comes right down at the Commander-in-Chief, and he's standing there saying, it's okay, they've practiced, they will not spear the governor. So it was very good to have him standing next to me, as he does every day, every moment that I'm in command, representing every soldier and airman in our enlisted force as our senior enlisted advisor. He is going to retire this year in December, And I'll have you know, he is one of the last actively serving members of the U.S. Armed Forces, not just the Guard, not just the Army, of the Armed Forces that served in Vietnam and is still serving today. So it's really special. It's special for me to be here and be a part of this, this ceremony that has, as I said, gone on for hundreds of years. Secretary Gabriel, Secretary Schwartz, I know he's around here as well. There he is over there. Thank you, Speaker, Chairman, and Secretary of Veteran Services. As the Governor eloquently talked about, it's nice to be the best in the country, but it's really nice to have warriors like you, a former Marine, standing in front of us and saying, not only are we going to do this, we're going to do this great with veteran service. Thank you for all you've done. So we have many representatives of our delegation here with us. We have many of our senior officers here. General Keefe, General Sellers is here. General recently retired Jack Hammond is sitting in here. It's great to have all the leadership come together because this is special. This warms our heart as we stand back and look. We know in uniform, regularly we're told what duty, honor, and country means, but when you're part of the event and you have the command sergeant major saving you from the spears at your side, you really know what this all means. It's a wonderful business. The history here is just incredible. You know, we have the captain commanding from the Ancient and Honorable Artillery Company, Frank Magalata, sitting back here, and he represents an organization that's almost as old as the National Guard. The National Guard is the oldest military organization in this country, and pieces of it are painted on this wall and carrying the flags. If you've noticed some of the flags that came up here, and when that flag was dipped, I mean, the flag almost went to the floor. It was so heavy with battle streamers. But there's a couple flags in here that Susan Warnick talked about of the history of 377 years this coming December. What that means is that we have units in this organization. We know they're the oldest in the country, but we also know that every single campaign, not some, not most, every single campaign this country has been a part of since 1775, there is a flag, a battle streamer on some of our flags for every one. Now, if that's not history, that's something really special, and that's here in Massachusetts that we're a part of, that our Commander-in-Chief and I join, and what an honor for us to do that. Something that Susan Warnick talked about was the governor back in the 1800s, whose picture sits in the governor's office up there, the 25th governor of our great Commonwealth, John Andrews, did something that was unique. And he was the one that said, we've got to do this and do this right. As Secretary Nee says, we are the best, now let's show them the best. And just to make sure we don't forget what that means, we've got a fantastic picture of the 54th as the front doors of this great State House open, and they present those, as she said, over 70 colors and campaign events to represent to the governor and have those battle streamers placed on their flags. Wow, what a place for history, what a time to be part of history, all the things going on in the world. It's gotta warm your heart. It's gotta warm your heart for what all this means, because for me personally, this is a special day. For me professionally, representing this great Massachusetts National Guard, and as Congressman Tierney talked about, this is the birthplace. This represents the birth of duty, honor, justice, and freedom. Thank you very much for all being here.
Thank you, General Rice. I'd like to ask Chaplain Lieutenant Colonel Baser to lead us in the benediction. Please stand.
Please join me in prayer. Thank you, O Lord, for this blessed day for our Commonwealth and our Massachusetts National Guard. May the Lord bless you and guard you. May the Lord show you sustenance and watch over you. May the Lord show you kindness and grant you peace. God bless the Massachusetts National Guard and National Guard. God bless our Commonwealth of Massachusetts. And God bless the United States of America. Let's all join in and say amen.
Thank you, Chaplain Baser. Before we conclude today's program, I'd like to ask Governor Patrick, Congressman Tierney, and General Rice to come back out to center stage, sir, for a special presentation. Major General Rice will now present Governor Patrick and Congressman Tierney with a mounted 30-millimeter cannon round, which is taken from the A-10 Warthog aircraft, the combat aircraft that was flown by General Rice. Please take your seats. Thank you.
Part of the campaign streamers is battling we're represented by the campaign so it's my honor to present one the governor of all health factors, our commander-in-chief, gratitude for your exceptional leadership and being a pivotal part of this battle ceremony. September 17, 2013, great day.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're very close to concluding today's ceremony this morning, but first, please stand. The 215th Army Band will lead us in the singing of the Air Force and Army songs and the departure of the official party. Then please join us in the Great Hall of Flags for a post-ceremony reception that was provided to us today by the Military Friends Foundation.
Off we go into the wild blue yonder, climbing high into the sky. Here they come, flicking under, and boys, give her the gun. Down we dive, spouting our flame from under, one hell of a roar. We live in flame, or go down in flame. Hey, nothing can stop the U.S. Air Force. March along, sing our song, we're the army of the free. Proud the brave, proud the true, who have fought to victory. We're the army and proud of our name. We're the army and proudly proclaim. First to fight for the right and to build the nation's might, and the army goes rolling along. Proud of all we have done, fighting till the battle. army goes rolling along. Then it's hi, hi, hey, the army's on its way. Mount up the cadence loud and strong. 2, 3, 4. Wherever we go, you will always know that the army goes rolling along.
Thank you, and please remain standing for the departure of the official party. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes this morning's ceremony. We hope you have a great day and a great afternoon, and please join everyone in the Great Hall of Flags for a small reception. Thank you.